Welcome, welcome. We've got Gillian, we've got Debbie, we've got Tom on Zoom. Welcome if you're joining on Facebook, YouTube, and we should just be about to go live on Instagram. Everybody good this Monday morning? Thumbs up if you're all good this Monday morning. Yes, that's what we like. Excellent. Focusing on the breath. I think from what we did last week, as well as a lot of people commented they enjoyed the flow. So we'll stick with the flow. So that real connection of movement and breath, because it's something that we don't focus on a lot. So that's the plan of action. Find yourself some space to stand where you're not going to be disturbed for the next half hour. And make sure you've got space forwards and back and around you there. And we'll start off as always just with some gentle mobilization, particularly working on the spine. So just stand for a moment with the feet shoulder width apart. If you can, have the feet facing parallel. If not, slight turn out, that's fine. Tall through the spine. Just play around a little bit with the balance. So if we shift the weight forwards and backwards, shift the weight towards the ball of the foot, but not so that you're gripping, and then just shift the weight backwards onto the heels. So we're just finding balance. So it's different to the bamboo in the wind that we'll do at the end, where we just let the body find its natural balance. Here we're just checking in with our balance. And just have in mind that idea of lifting the spine. So not too much. I don't want it to be pulled hard up so we become rigid. It's just a very gentle lift of the spine. And it's always good to bear in mind thinking of strong back of the body so you can soften the front of the body. So we can soften into the face, you can soften into the chest, you can soften into the belly. If we don't have that strength in the spine, it's very difficult to soften into the front. Everything can just tighten up. If we lengthen up and stand tall, we can soften into the front of the body. And then having in mind this string, or however you want to visualize it, or just sort of like the energy going crown upwards towards the sky, create that as a central rotational axis through the body. And then we just start moving from the center. Really easy, effortless movement. Then we can start to let the elbows bend and then just lead into knocking on the door of life. Soften into the knees, soften into the ankles, so we get that rotation through the ankles, the knees, into the hips. And if the face is relaxed, and just very gently resting the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, you can just bring your attention to the breath just as it flows naturally in and out through the nose. So it's just noticing, we're not changing anything, we're not trying to breathe, we're not putting any effort whatsoever into breathing. And if you feel you want to, or if it just happens naturally, if you want to take that slightly fuller breath, just calm, full breath, and let that go, that's fine. And we're going to slow this down now into water waves. Maybe the breath slows with the movement too, but again, just see what happens naturally. Don't force anything. And then just give yourself a moment standing. If you feel you want to bring your feet a little bit closer, that's fine. You can come hip width apart, stand tall. Again, just check in with the balance there. Yeah, move your shoulders, move around a little bit if you need to move around a little bit. And then step back out. We're just going to do a very gentle spine roll forward. So we're going to keep the legs pretty straight, not locked, so we don't want to hyperextend the knees, i.e. force the knees back, but you just want a little softness in the knees, but keep the legs straight. You tilt from the hips, you lead from the chest and the chin, and then you just roll up. You might want to go a little bit wider actually on the feet. So if you feel a little bit more comfortable with about a hip and a bit width apart, so tilting from the center and roll up. Really lift the chest. Open up the neck. We can get tight around the voice box, the neck muscles. This little spine wave. Might get some crunches and creaks. And just remember that we don't want any strain or pain. Breathing's just nice and easy, in and out through the nose. What's nice about this is you get that little, or maybe not so little, stretch through the hamstrings as well. And the back line of the body, the back of the legs. Sometimes when we think of stretching, I think we often overdo it. So it's just easing into it, encouraging the fascia, the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, just to lengthen, just encouraging that lengthening rather than forcing. Because if we force anything, the body just tightens up. Let's do a couple more. Really ripple wave through the spine. And then come up to standing. Again, just have a little shake out if you need to shake out. Shake the shoulders out. Let's go into a wider stance. And so we're going to turn the feet out a little bit more. We've got those knees gliding over the toes there. And then just slide down, so you're just resting. We're not putting loads of weight on the thighs, so I'm just resting on the thighs, but I could stand like this. And then we're just going to slide side to side. Notice that my spine stays upright. So I'm not doing this, I'm not tilting side to side there. So spine upright. So sliding side to side, nice on the hips. And then we're going to create a little figure of 8 with the hips. So as I slide, hopefully I'm going to mirror you. If I slide to the left, that left hip comes forwards. And as I slide to the right hip comes forwards. You can put a little bit of movement in with the hands as well if you want. So we just get that little figure of 8 with the hips. Nice and steady. So really feel the movement there in the hips. Again, if anything hurts, you stop, or you just make it a little bit smaller, or you just keep gliding side to side. But if we can get that little bit of rotation in the hips, it's quite nice. Keep the chest lifted so we're not tilting too far forwards, or we're not falling forwards. And then we're going to free up the upper body. So you're just looking at the opposite foot. Keep that spine long though. Watch that we're not dropping forwards. I know sometimes I'm in the habit of just dropping too far forwards. It's nice to have a little bit of drop forwards because you get that roll through the neck as well. But again, just have in mind that chest is lifted. And it's like if you imagine you have a tail, a big tail attached to your tailbone, then you're really just swishing the tail, and that will create that whipping effect through the whole of the spine. That's what we are aiming for. Sort of like a bigger version of dog wags the tail, big dog wags the tail. Breathing easy in and out through the nose. I just feel the need after doing this one just to add in one that we've been adding, take a rest. Oh, the sun's just come right out and it's shining right in my eyes. One that we've added in our Wednesday morning sessions, but it fits really nicely with this one. So as we glide to the side, we rest our I always forget what that is, your forearm on your thigh, and all the Zoomers are already doing it, and then you raise that hand above. Watch that we're not here with the hand, bring it over so you get that little bit of lever lengthening out there, and then we scoop down, cross and up. I'm really enjoying this one just for opening up that whole side of the body. And you might find one side flows really nicely and the other side is a little bit chunky, or maybe you're absolutely perfect both sides. It's also good when you are looking at the hand because we get that movement through the neck and through the eyes as well. Focus on the palm. Just do one more each side in your own time. And then very slowly come back up, walking your feet together and having a little bit of a shake out. Shake out the arms, shake out the shoulders. With the exhale, just doing like a, is that a shh sound? So just breathing in and shh. And then the breath in again and shh. You most probably can't hear that because the microphone might take it out as distortion, but you're just doing a shh sound, if you can hear that, hopefully. Let's do one more breath in and shh. And then slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Stand for a minute and just feel the energy, the tingling sensations running through your body. Just stay there for a moment, just while I bring the blind down a bit so I can see and you can see me. Such a shame to take the sun out. And now I've got stripes across. Hang on a minute. Let's put this across, see if this will take it out of it. Don't want to be closing the sun out, but just so you can see, that's a little bit better. Okay, take your feet shoulder width apart. Balance evenly. And we're just going to some flow movements just for the last 10 minutes or so. Remember, we've done all of this moving to get the energy flowing. The idea when we go into a flow movement is that the energy that you've created within the body actually moves the body. So the idea is you're not doing an exercise. It should feel effortless. It should feel like you're in the zone. It should feel like a flow. And remember, with the flow, the breath guides the movement. So we'll do an open the flow as you breathe in, body expands. And as you breathe out, the body softens. So I really want you to have in mind that this is the breath. That breath in is breath creating that movement. I'm not moving and breathing with the movement, or trying to move to breathe. So find your rhythm. You don't have to follow me. You might want to go a little bit quicker. You might want to go a little bit slower. But keep it smooth. There's no edges. There's no start or stop. It's a continuous flow. Remember, it's a whole body movement. So it's not just an arm movement, Maybe you notice as you breathe in, there's a very subtle weight shift towards the heels. And as you breathe out, there's a very subtle weight shift towards the bubbling spring, the ball of the foot. But I really want to emphasize, we don't want to be trying to move in a particular way. Think of the whole body breathing. Let's do alternate arms. So one arm. And then just going back to both arms. And then we're going to flow from this directly into soaring crane. So breathing in, and then we rotate shoulders, connect thumb and forefinger, breathing out. All very soft, light breathing in and out through the nose. The idea with the breath is that we don't breathe more air or less air than we need. So we've got to really just tune into the movement and the breath and let the body decide the volume of air that we breathe. And you'll notice if we're slowing the breath, each breath is going to be bigger than if the breath was a little bit quicker. So it's not about not breathing bigger breaths when we slow the breath. It's just letting the breath be natural. Soaring crane, expanding as you breathe in. Keeping tall, keeping that spine lifted but softening as you breathe out. And what I like to have in mind or visualize when I'm doing this particular practice is on the exhale. We often think of exhaling as cleansing and clearing or letting go. With this exhale, I want you to think about concentrating the energy around the body. So think logically what happens as we breathe in, we're bringing oxygen into the lungs, and then that oxygen is being delivered into the blood, and the oxygen from the blood is being delivered to every single cell in the body. So as we're doing this connection with the index finger and thumb, just visualize that oxygen being delivered from the blood into every single cell in the body. So even though you're breathing out, it's a very gentle, soft breath out, you're energizing the body. You're getting oxygen into every single cell. And I know your arms and your shoulders might be starting to ache now, so we can come a little bit lower. So remember, very basically, there's two parts to cellular respiration. One is to get the air into the lungs and into the blood, and then the other is to get the oxygen into the lungs and into blood, and then to get that oxygen from the blood into every single cell. And that's where the idea of just breathing light and slow and deep and having the right balance of CO2, carbon dioxide in the blood to help release that oxygen from the blood into the cells. Take a standing posture, holding that little chi ball. Letting the breath settle. I'm going to do pulling down the sky, pulling down the heavens. So we're breathing in, expanding, breathing out. Same idea with that exhale. Think of it as bringing that oxygen into the cells. So that exhale, breathing in, concentrating that energy around the body, breathing out. And then interlocking your thumbs, resting on the lower down chin, bringing your feet together. Keeping that sense of lift through the spine. Strong spine, soft front. Softening into the face, the brow, the eye sockets. Jaw and cheekbones. And then taking a full breath in. Opening your eyes at the top of the breath, stepping out. Just looking at my legs, it looks as if I got socks on with the sun stripe across my lower legs. Brushing body down. having a little shakeout if you need a little shakeout. Excellent. And we will finish there. Just to highlight, just to let you know that I've just recorded a webinar about the Oxygen Advantage instructor training. So if any of you are considering or keen on doing it or thinking about it, there is a link. I'll put a link in underneath these videos on YouTube and Facebook and on Instagram today. Or if you're on the email list, you should have had an email just to give you some information on that. So it's just a short webinar. It's about 30 minutes. It's about our Scotland training and our London training as well. And of course, if you've got any questions, you can just come back to me and ask any questions. Excellent. I will see you on Wednesday. Thanks as always for your support and have a good rest of your day. See you on Wednesday. And I'm going to open my blinds now and get the sun out. See you later. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.